What's good, guys? This is Drift. Welcome to my series called Behind the Stage. This is where I talk to people that work behind the scenes on events like fighting games and other esports titles. People you don't normally see or know because they are busy working during the event you're watching or are currently at. This is basically a chance for you and me to find out what they do and what they look for in building out their team and making the event a great one. I hope you guys enjoy the talk. All right. You don't even know why I've asked you to come onto the show first off, do you, Mark?
I have no idea. So please, let's not make this. This is your life. We're giving those awkward questions while I'll just go quiet.
That's fine. That's fine. So no, you're honestly like, what did you get? You got like a WhatsApp message halfway through the week, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, before Evo kicked off. Like
That's
obviously,
right.
yeah. And like, hey, are you free? Cool. Right. So you might see the whole channel or the whole backdrop that I've made in 5 minutes in Photoshop. As you can tell, it's a 5 minute job behind the
Yeah,
stage.
okay. It's good. It's good. It's understated and simple. Look, and you've done very good cardinal design rules there, right? Light on dark and dark on light, and it looks cool.
I'm
It's good.
trying. I'm trying.
You're succeeding. You're succeeding, my brother.
You're,
You're succeeding.
you're the graphic designer. I am definitely not a graphic designer, no matter what I say and what people say. So yeah, behind the stage is basically my idea of a podcast because our industry, I say our industry, esports productions, not even esports, but mainly productions, production companies have a very big knowledge gap of how people should be able to get into the industry to help. Like,
It's
con-
very true.
like what is it? Directors, producers, even I don't know all the fucking titles. Event runners or TO directors, the works, right? So that's why I thought I need you on first off. A, because you're a friend. B, I haven't seen you in some time. Uh, and D, this is behind the stage. People don't really know who you are unless they know who you are, right? So this is for the people that don't know and are interested.
Fair enough. Well, people do know of me. A lot of that's my own doing.
All
I
right.
used to be quite. I had a company years ago, Unequal Media, and I was quite a front man. And I
Yes.
couldn't even. It's called media. I couldn't even edit video. I'm a graphic designer, basically, traditionally.
Mm.
But I've just transitioned into because motion became a thing,
Yeah.
and graphic designers, let's be honest, is Canva and Photoshop and your buddy.
Yeah.
So nowadays, so I had to kind of start to evolve, and I got into, fortunately, through my love of fighting games and event organizing,
All
there
right.
was a
I'm going to pause you there. Love of
sure
fighting games, producing. That's where we met. I'll jump the gun there.
that
That's where we met. And
that's where we met.
that's where we met. Fighting games. I was behind the camera. I was doing dumb shit, and you're like, oh, this guy's cool. But I'm going to rewind slightly. Unequal media,
Nice.
awesome.
Yes.
Before we even get to unequal media, who are you? Like the people reading this, listening to this. Sorry, not even
All
reading
right.
this.
So
Like you are Mark, but who is Mark? Like who are you?
I'm going to talk as if you do not know a clue who I am. Right.
Please, please.
Someone full government name Mark Denton. My name is Mark Denton. I couldn't even say it.
Wow.
Mark Denton. Some people actually call me an evil anti-hero, call me Dark Menton. And I had to laugh at that. I
It's
was like,
true. It's true.
you people are foolish. It's just like I got a twin, and people say I'm kind of the evil twin. It's like, listen, everyone likes an anti-hero. I'm not evil. I'm just not as nice as him. And Richard, my twin brother, he's the most loveliest person in the world. Probably too nice.
True.
And so someone's got to be kind of the bad guy in the duo. So I'm a oh my god, start again. I'm a classically trained graphic designer. I'm in my mid 40s. I studied for a damn long time from around 1995. I had the longest college career ever because I'm a prat and I got thrown out of college once and failed. But I discovered I used to draw when I was younger, and it's quite embarrassing. I used to draw pictures of like Terminator and all the movies, and they were quite good. And I used to pass it around my class.
I wouldn't say that's whatever.
No, for me looking back now and thinking about it, the sort of person I am, it's just like, why I don't. If you want to see what I do, I'll make it loud enough so you can hear it. I'm not going to force it in your face. So for me, at that very naive age of about, I don't know, 13 or 14, to
Yeah.
draw and pass it around the class, if I passed it to me, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Have it back, Mark. But then I basically, I qualified in maths and art. And my school, Bishop Ramsey, I am the product of a church education. Um, it didn't keep us on. It had, I think it had four students, four pupils wanted to do art, and it just
Okay.
wasn't enough to fill a year or 2 years of higher education. So I had to leave, which I didn't want to because the school I went to was all about academics, sports, like
The
anything like
classics.
the typical stuff. The school was
Yeah.
very high up, so
Yeah.
my parents made me go to Sunday school so I could go. I wanted to go to the bad man school. I want. I even got forced. There's a school called John Lyon, and it's quite a famous, like really posh British school in Harrow.
Right.
My gran and my father forced me to take the entry test. I just failed it on purpose because it was a boys' school, a posh boys' school. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
Nah.
I want girls and all sorts around me. So when I left, my girlfriend at the time, who was a dancer, she went to West Herts College, and where I'm from in Ruislip, there's basically the bottom. There's two parts to the line where I'm from, right? So
Yeah.
Harrow's here,
Yeah.
Uxbridge is there.
Yeah.
So there's Uxbridge, Hillingdon, Ickenham, Ruislip, Rayners Lane, the East Coast, all that, top of
Yeah.
Harrow. Then on, or that way I should say, to
Yeah.
central London,
Yeah.
Wembley Park, blah blah. Then you
Yeah.
got you can go back on yourself, and there's Northwood,
Yeah.
Northwood Hills, Pinner,
Yeah.
Moore Park, Rickmansworth. I had never in my life gone past Northwood. My girlfriend lived in Northwood. Anything up there was just like that's just
That's just too far. Just too much.
true.
Yeah. Nah. You're right.
I ended up going all the way on the Metropolitan line to Watford, where she went to West Herts College. And she was in one campus, which was quite near, it's called Hempstead Road, and it's
Yeah.
near Watford Metropolitan Station.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, when you come out, if you've people who have been there, right, you come out, and it's a road in a park, like
Yeah.
country. So I had to walk 35 minutes to North Watford, up St Albans Road, to this horrible old like 60s like hospital that got converted into an art
Yeah.
college called Ridge Street. And I went there with no expectation, didn't really want to go, terrified, shy, and made some friends. Then I discovered the Mac LC475, LC275, I think it was called, the little grey Macs
Yep. Yep.
with
Yeah.
their operating system, which did evolve into OS X. And I was showed all this freehand. I was shown Photoshop and Quark Express. Now, I've come from drawing and from deluxe paint on the Amiga, which was pixel by pixel.
Yep. The
And I learned
classics.
it. And I used to love Final Fight, if you know video game. And there's a magazine called Computer Video Games. I used to blow it up. I used to turn the magazine that way
Yeah.
and basically blow the sprites up as big as that so you can see every single pixel
Yeah.
of how the sprite was created. So I used to sit there pixel by pixel by pixel by pixel. So I had this little sort of inkling about how do you take art and make it more on a published level.
Yeah.
I discovered the Mac LC475, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And I saw Photoshop, and I saw Adobe Illustrator as well.
Of course. Yeah. The classic.
And
The draw.
they showed me a few things. I've used Photoshop and Photoshop 2, and exactly what it is, a Photoshop. You can do type in it.
Nope.
You can do all these crazy stuff you can do in it now. And within the first few lessons, I figured out, oh, wait a minute, that's how typography is done. That's how posters are done. That's how
Print is
magazine-
done.
That's how print is done.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we had to do we had to do live drawing.
Oh God.
Old men,
Oh.
not even like women,
Right.
young women. No,
No.
old women. It was old men. And I'm like, what am I doing this for? So I discovered the computer room,
Yeah.
and I lived in it.
Fair.
And Richard joined, and then we
Yeah.
all met the computer room used to be for the geeks and the weirdos, right? Until I and my gang showed up, right? Made the computer room cool, and I got really good at graphic design. From that point, I looked at everything. There was a company called Attic at the time,
Right.
doing like next level stuff. And I
Yeah.
thought to myself, hold on, just look to the top, aim for the top, and if you can copy what they're doing, then emulate it and then creatively make it yours.
Yeah.
That is kind of a springboard how you can get into the industry.
Okay. Okay.
So I basically failed my course.
Yep.
I went to another course, typographic course, got thrown out of that.
Sure.
Went to Uxbridge College a couple
Yeah.
of years later.
Yeah.
In the middle of that, I ended up becoming a glass collector in a bar in Watford called
Sure.
the ISO Bar.
Yeah.
With my very good friend, if you Google Des Taylor, Des Pop, he's a very good comic illustrator. He's got a character called Scarlet Couture and Katie Rogers. So you guys, I'm very good friends with him. he basically got me a job in the bar industry, and I then gradually sort of gradually, and I just got good.
Yeah.
Came out of college and started doing club flyers in Watford, and became like king of flyers.
Cool.
And then I took my love of video games,
Yeah.
somehow crossed it over,
Yeah.
and I got into. I used to go to arcades where there were competitions.
Shout out to Trocadero.
Tournaments. I actually played to win. No, no, no. The big one, I think it was 1994, and it was the Kiss 100 Super Turbo tournament.
That's going back some time now.
That's what I mean. And I just
Jeez.
we all got put in t-shirts. And we all put in teams, and it was winner stays on. It
Of
was
course.
horrible because you had 12 machines.
Yeah.
And you just had the 12 best.
Yeah.
And it would never come off.
Yeah.
So and just I end up meeting the event organizer of that. Then he sort of exploited me, and he started making me do print work. He goes, "Oh, do you want to do do you want to do artwork for your favorite arcade game in the tournament?" I'm like 17. I'm like, oh my god,
Of course. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
I never realized he's exploiting free design and free print. I'm going into my college on the weekend in the library and putting out like hundreds of flyers and tickets and getting myself in trouble because every so often the librarian would go, "Is that your coursework?" Oh, yeah, of course it is.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
I ended up falling into that, and
That was back in what, the 90s, early 90s.
That was 1997.
97, yeah, early 90s. That was, I would say, not even the industry. That was the world rife of exploitative now labor of children. Of children, like 17, 18-year-olds looking to make a break. Sadly, I think it still happens in certain places, in certain industries. Like, we can't shy away from that, but that was definitely the case back in our day.
It was.
Yeah.
And the reason, kind of this very loose kind of backstory I'm saying to you is where that I come from drawing to graphic design.
Yeah.
I discovered Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I missed that bit out on the way to school when I was 14. On the front of there was this character with brown tights, female character with buns and spikes on her wrists. And the game looked like Final Fight, and it was called Street Fighter 2. And the magazine basically praised it like to heaven and back.
Yeah, best thing is sliced bread.
You used to get off the bus, 114, you used to walk up to Manor Way in Ruislip, and there were two shops, two news agents. They used to have arcades. And both of them got Street Fighter 2 World Warrior. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the game from the magazine. Didn't have a Scooby out to play it. We all learned on the way to school, and that's where Street Fighter 2 was. So I'm 46. I'm 1978 born.
Yeah.
So if you're around that kind of era of growing up and being a young man, I'd say not alienating the girls from it, but it was more of a male thing at the time. It just took over. Like I remember going to school and everybody would be like, 'cause that's when it was World Warrior and you could only pick Ryu or Ken.
Yes.
So if you wanted to be Guile, I remember running off the bus and running into the shop first so I could pick Guile before anyone else would and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a combination of all these things. Then I ended up working at an arcade called Namco Wonder Park. I used to carry my portfolio around me all the time, and again, exploitation to the max. They knew that, oh, listen, throw this kid and his brother some free tokens and give him some opportunity, and he will design whatever we want.
Yeah.
And I was quite good. So I ended up getting loads of free credits when I used to go to the arcade. I used to get my artwork in the arcade. Then I met a guy that used to run a tournament organising team called Reflex Competition. So their theme track is Duran Duran, the Reflex.
Oh Jesus!
I never forget that. He showed me the way.
Right.
He did a few competitions. He then got a job at SNK, and Namco Wonder Park was going to close in 1998, I think it was.
Yes. Yeah. I remember.
I said to the so I knew all the bosses. I go, look, let me do some tournaments on Alpha 3, Tekken 5.
Yeah.
I think it was EX2 and King of Fighters 98. It's called Fighting Legends.
Yes.
And that's when I fell into event organising.
Okay.
In fighting games. And
so before you it obviously kind of worked because you've done a lot more since then. So what you're saying is luck of the draw. I can't think of any other way to describe it. Luck of the draw of you having your portfolio on you from your college years and your school days, going to Namco, which is was or is still even by the London Eye because they are still
No,
technically open.
no, 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 no.
No?
No, there was Trocadero, and
Tro-
basically, I think it was called. It's now called Grace. It's Windmill Street.
oh, okay. The other one.
It's,
Okay. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
McDonald's. It's McDonald's kind of on Shaftesbury Avenue like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's Windmill Street.
Right. Oh,
That's
that one.
Windmill
Oh, okay.
Street. If
Right.
you ever know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
that became. They were apparently it was all in Trocadero, and they said they're opening this Namco Wonder Park. And it's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
swear.
Yeah, you
What the fuck is Namco Wonder Park?
can.
It sounds like some gimmicky bullshit, right?
right. Yeah.
I tell you now, Drift. That it was the like up to date of the time modern Japanese arcade theme.
Yeah.
So it was luscious. It was luxurious. It had like neon lights. It was very very cool.
Like late 90s, pre 2000s, slice of Japan in London.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
And it basically stole the entire crowd from Trocadero, all the hardcore players.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know a good friend of mine, like a brother from another mother. His name's we call him Super. His name Gavin. And do you know who else's birthday that is as well, people? Katie Price, Jordan. I'm the same age as her. Uninteresting fact number 2.
Thanks for that, Mark.
So anyway,
Yeah. So yeah, you got.
still friends today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. Like I see Soups once in a while. He is amazing. He's a great guy. Good competitor. KOF nerd. Like he'll
Champion.
champion even. Yeah, he is. He will ruin anyone's run in any
When
day.
old guy doesn't practice, right? You just can't beat him.
He's damn good.
His reads are just like, pow. He just knows how to play.
He just He understands the player mindset.
Completely.
Yeah. So
are we deviating all over the shop?
little bit. I'm trying to keep us on track, but it's perfectly fine because we've got your history. We're getting your history. Like we're into the 90s now. We're in 2024 right now. So we're in like 96. Like Bandai's so Namco Wonder Park is about to close. You after being exploited, asked for an opportunity to run some tournaments, some events for a few fighting games of that time. So
they gave it to me.
And they gave it to you. So Tekken 5, King of Fighters, Final Bout. Did you say? No, what was Final Bout?
It was King of Fighters 97, I think.
97. Yeah. Street Fighter EX2.
EX2.
Yeah, which is still trash. I don't like that game ever.
And Street Fighter Alpha 3, which I think trash as well.
Alpha 3 is very decisive. I like the design of that game, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, you asked for an opportunity, you got it, and that is where you fell into tournament organizing. So that's one thing off the list here, right behind the stage. If people didn't know, you are a tournament organizer. Have been, was one, is one. You're a tournament organizer.
Can I correct you a little bit?
Go for it.
Like, if it's a blow my Lurpak trumpet or not, right? I don't tend to call myself a tournament organizer.
Not anymore. You've graduated since then.
I think tournament organizing is part of the event organizing.
Okay.
To me, I prefer to do an experience.
Okay.
An event you come to, and the tournament is part of it. Now, maybe that's a wrong thing to say, but that's my perspective.
Sure.
From what I do.
Cool. Yeah, we don't really have industry standards of production, right? It's not like we're in a IT industry and there are literal standards and job titles where we hit certain things. A lot of things is like agreed upon, but yeah, an event experience or event organizer could be two different things, or a tournament organizer could be two different things.
I'd like to touch on what you said. Yeah, it's not like it's like classic television.
No.
Or any sort of trained career.
Yeah.
Where you go through a vocational course that tells you, I use this like when graphic design, before it got completely saturated by everyone having piracy.
Yeah.
I think I was the last generation of it where like the computers were expensive, the good ones.
Yeah.
The software.
Even more so.
Photoshop on its own was like $900.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, so you basically got trained to be a job of a profession.
Yeah.
But I think when I started, I think my time at college, when this piracy started to kick in, and anyone could kind of get Photoshop, and it came from, because it was very traditionally Mac.
Yes. Yeah, it was.
It started to transition over to PC. It wasn't very good at first because the operating system didn't really optimize as well as OS, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and then the PCs got more powerful.
Yeah.
And piracy became so commonplace that
Still
the
is.
train the trained job became not so specialist anymore because someone who didn't go through the education of it
Open the
would just pick
doors.
it up and they'd do it, and
Yeah.
it'd be I don't know, like £80 an hour for a professional trained graphic designer, and you've got this guy here who's doing it at 40.
Yeah.
And that there is called just good enough.
Yeah.
So that's when the industry kind of just like, oh god, like being a graphic designer is really, really, really saturated and challenging.
I mean, as a semi-professional esports photographer, personally, the race to the bottom is, especially in the creative industry like ours, like as a photographer, racing to the bottom to offer cheap or free shots, is a minefield. I don't believe in it. I don't agree with it. You go to an event, you build your portfolio, you can publish it yourself and do whatever you want. But if you are asking to work in an event, you should be paid, and people that are organizing the event should pay you. They should not be expecting X, Y, and Z. We can go into all of that later.
That's it. The nutshell that. To umbrella what you just said, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I do think at first, since that whole thing, right, there's no experience without a job, and there's no job without experience. So
yeah, it's hard. It's a vicious circle.
So you break in there and do it a couple of times. I'm not being fun. I saw it the other day. Like people, Evo's coming to our region, right? And
yes.
Guys, please stop offering for free.
A, they won't take you. B, they like the team they had for Evo Vegas is probably one of the greatest of all time. They are the GOATs. Like,
absolutely.
You got Rob, who is amazing. You got Stephanie Vexeny, who is amazing, and esports award.
Oh,
not even nominated. She's won it.
She's the unicorn of greatness. She is the best.
She is the best of the best.
She's the best. Done.
Yeah, you've got Lee, who is also one of the best, and you've got Rel, who's amazing. Really, he is the new up and coming GOAT, basically. Yep, he's done so much work in the last 5 years, and I think everyone would agree with me who has seen his work or who knows him. And lastly, we've got Colton, the Dark Horse, who is also amazing. He's a great guy, love him. And yeah, that team of 5 covered all of Evo, and I don't think they've had a miss shot in that event.
No favoritism here.
Sure.
Vexeny is she's that wonderful flying unicorn.
Yeah.
It's so good it's not real.
She's the target. She's the target for me.
The rest of them though, I couldn't tell you who did what.
Sure.
Which I think aesthetic consistency is important.
Sure.
When it comes to just marketing the look.
Yes. Because every event brand, no, every event should look at itself as a brand and should have consistency in its brand marketing.
That's right. The last thing you want is if you've got a team of photographers and one of them is weaker. So it's good with the Evo team now because you look at the pictures and you do not know who took them apart from Stephanie. So, and even sometimes it's like,
did Stephanie take the one, or who took that one? Yeah, no, 100% agreed.
And as a team of just capturing the moments, and especially an event of that magnitude, there are going to be hundreds of moments. You have to be Superman or Superwoman.
Yeah.
You physically impossibly couldn't get them all.
No.
But their team really captured the moments, and
100%.
those are the
They are my targets. They are the people I look up to every time. I go, I'm going to an event. I need to emulate these people because I want to be at their level and I work with them. I've worked with them once before. I want to do it again.
Of course, and I'm definitely sure that you will. But they ought to. They immortalize that moment.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at EGX with that. If you guys know of this, maybe Jeff can drop this in
somewhere. Yeah.
There's that picture when Jermaine won.
Yes.
Joker.
Yeah.
I've got that on the wall in the other room. I took it to my printers, and my printer said, "Was that pose?" I went, "That was a split second. That photograph."
Yeah. And behind him is me in that shot.
And it's like, and I remember seeing that shot is no way as good from us who's in the crowd looking at it.
Yeah.
But from Stephanie, who happens to say to her, "You keep ruining the shot for the production. You're always in the shot.
Yeah.
You're always in the camera." But she's just lurking there.
Yeah. It's one trick I've learned from her, for sure.
And she gets it.
Oh, 100%.
It's like, It's all right. Listen, nowadays, if AI keeps getting that powerful, we should be able to AI out of you in post.
Oh God, no,
So,
Jesus, no. But anyway, enough about like my photography, the photography side of the town. Like that's not where you're based. Like,
right, sure.
so you you became a tournament organizer, even though you don't want to say that you were a tournament organizer. You did five
I'm a,
games.
I'm a tournament
You're a
organizer.
tournament organizer.
I
They
am.
ran quite well, I assume.
They ran
Well enough.
well enough
Okay.
for me to think, oh, that was a
Oh,
thing.
oh, yeah,
Like, hang on, the arcades closed after that.
yeah,
That's when the PlayStation 1 era began,
yeah, yeah.
and online wasn't a thing.
Sure.
And for everyone of my age group that did, or around this age group that did this, it was for me. I was this really shy kid with a twin brother who was quite skinny. I had no game with the girls. I didn't like hanging around in shopping centres. I wouldn't loiter around chicks and chat with them as they walked past me. I was too young to go to bars and clubs. This thing appeared, and I got pretty good. And then as a player, I got pretty good. Me and my brother are in London, and I'm quite known. It's embarrassing. And then I then met these event organisers, and I became an event organiser. So then, from all of that falling apart, it's just like then we're back at home, and now the we're talking. I've gone through when like for instance Street Fighter Two. A lot of people know Street Fighter Two from the Super Nintendo.
Yes,
I
I'm
know
one
it
of them.
from 13 years old in
In the arcade.
the local shop, and then seeing the massive arcade scene in London and hear about it all over the world.
Mm.
So for me, it's just like this isn't the same.
No.
And we used to come to my parents' house, and we're that generation of bash buttons hard. We are. So I remember playing games in my parents' house. My dad would walk in. You lot all going, right? Like, Jesus Christ, your dad's scary. And it's like 11 o'clock at night, and they want to go sit there in the room next door. They want to go to bed.
Yeah,
So then we try to sort of migrate that to the garage. You can't play in the garage in winter. I
it's
don't
too
give a
cold.
damn how tough you are,
It's
right?
too cold, man.
It's too cold, not
It's too cold.
comfortable.
Nah.
Especially when you come from like a Namco Wonder Park to a garage.
Yeah. It's not the
Then
same.
there was this. I think that's when the trend of internet cafes, the first generation,
Yeah.
came around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was a place called Harrow Life in Harrow on the Hill opposite Yates's.
Right.
And a friend of mine, Oliver Wilmot, was working there. Another friend of mine, Simeon, he was running a website called Neo Empire. And all Neo Empire was, I'll make this short, there are, you know what, a funny thing is, I don't know why this is on the floor. This is really interesting. There used to be, this is not it, by the way, but this is a box from a Neo Geo cartridge, right? And the cartridge is pretty much exactly the same size, right?
Yeah.
So basically, there was the arcade version called the AVS, and the cartridge was like transparent in this size. And then they had the Neo Geo home system, which was the MVS.
Yeah.
Now, the cartridges, the ones for the home systems were black. Now, they don't fit.
No.
It's slightly different. They're exactly the same chipset inside, roughly, but they just physically cannot fit in.
Yeah.
So what people would do is they'd take like a metal slug and they'd swap the chips on Fatal Fury, and then you've got the Fatal Fury suddenly at home.
Yeah.
So friends of mine wanted to, because I was in print and design.
Sure.
He used to make me print.
Print covers.
This was not scripted. It has to be on
There's
the floor
definitely.
for a reason. I used to do all of this.
Yeah.
And I could print these and the labels, and then I used to go up on eBay for like £600.
Jeez.
Because you couldn't get Fatal Fury. You know, it wasn't that. You couldn't get Metal Slug at home, for instance. But these guys knew how to swap around the chips, and you got Metal Slug.
Yeah, yeah.
Then they get the box of another one, and you print it out. And these things were crazy. And my friend was basically trying to sell these things online.
Fair.
From Neo Geo. It's called Neo Empire.
Yeah.
They had a forum. And for some reason or another, right, it's like, can I do an event underneath that Neo Empire banner? And it's just like, he was like, if you want to. And then we my friend Ollie was working in Harrow Life. And he says, right, upstairs on a Sunday, it's not busy.
Yeah.
So do your thing. So he bought loads of CRT televisions, and like 120 people showed up, just bundled into this shop. And it's just like, hold on, we did this in the arcade a few years ago. We've just done this again.
Yeah.
It's like, we're onto something here. Then I went on and on and on as a team called Neo Empire.
Yeah.
That did an event called Battle of Destiny in 2008, which has still been crowned as one of the greatest. Look, I'll let it stick in your memory, right? That event was full of errors. It was, but it was huge. We had the world exclusive in Europe of Street Fighter 4 and Arcade Cabinet.
Yeah.
We had HD Remix. We flew a guy called, if you guys know, a guy called Justin Wong over. We flew players over, and it was like the first kind of London big event. And it's just like, whoa, this was a fluke.
Was it though? Because like you've graduated. Because I'm going to speed the story up a little bit, just in case. Like you've graduated from not Fast and Furious style of jacking fucking like VHS and TVs in lorries to cars in space, but it's a pretty similar story. You started from Street Fighter 2 in your local newspaper shop to running a 120-man event on top of a shop on a Sunday, random Sunday afternoon, flying Justin Wong out in the early 2000s when Street Fighter 4 literally just came out pretty much. Even pre Street Fighter 4 coming out because it was arcade, because it was the arcade edition.
That's right.
And then you skip a few steps here, but after running those events, you joined up with a friend and started up a production company, Unequaled Media, which you mentioned right at the start of this podcast, of this episode. And you started producing streams. Have I missed a step here? Is there something? Did I miss something in between all of that? Like from running events to streaming.
Yeah, because there was at the time. Now we kind of got back to. I think I've babbled on about all this rubbish. Sorry. You had to be at the event to see it.
Sure.
But that's impossible because they're global.
Yeah.
So there was a tournament called Devastation, and that's when Ustream, not that Jim Davis and stuff that's out, the original Ustream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I met this guy in America, Jedi Rob, and he said, I'm going to stream my event, Devastation. And that was the first, I could be wrong, that was the first stream event in the States where you could watch it without being there. So I think I think there were other parties that were doing it as well, but for me, that was the first one I saw. I was like, whoa, this is a thing here. Like, you can actually broadcast is kind of like a live sports review.
Yeah.
It's like, so that inspired me. Then there was a guy called James Bardoff, he's worst keep ever, Zangi, and he was ahead of the curve.
Yes.
There was a guy called Logan Sama, and they did a weekly event called Winner Stays On in Gamer Base in London.
Yeah.
And they just knew how to stream.
Yeah.
And a little bit of, there was a bit, I get very green-eyed, I get jealous. I'm not going to lie. I got a bit more in my old age. I hold it in, but I was very emotional and explosive when I was young. I was an idiot. I apologise if I upset anybody. I was a prick, right?
Slam.
Thanks.
It's all right.
So I remember seeing him do it, and
Yeah.
I was working with my colleague Jamar, and I remember he's like a comedy act, and it's just like, Jamar, he's streaming. James is streaming. Jamar's like, I can do that. And it's like, look, man, he's streaming, and it's just like, Mark, I can do that, and I'm like, all right.
Oh.
So I said, but he showed me something in his bedroom.
Yeah.
We had basically just one camera here, an awful background, and the camera there. No, and the game feed there. I said, can you put a frame around it, like a PNG graphic on top of it? He said, you can. So I just shut off, and I just mocked up just spaces, 16 by 9 spaces with frames around it.
Yeah.
I go, right, put it on top. He did an arranger. I went, Jesus.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's streaming right there. That's your base. That's your overlay done, sorted, right? And that was what, that early 2000s still, like Street Fighter. That was still Street Fighter 4. So
that was Street Fighter 4, yeah.
09, like 2010 at the earliest, really. 09, 010.
Your
09, 10.
timeline is better because I'm getting geriatric in my old age.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Wait, when was it? That was.
No, not 09.
2010. It was.
Yeah. Yeah, you had me down there, myself there.
Then all of a sudden it became just like the thing.
Yeah.
Do an event, stream it, and then things like these hard. I can't remember what they were called. There were these capture boxes that they were composite.
Yeah.
I
remember
there was 5 cables.
Yeah.
And if you then put those splitters on, right?
Yeah.
To split it once, it was 10 cables. It was ridiculous.
It's dumb. The old ways were old for a reason. Composite cables, we couldn't run SCART, or if you could, it would be crazy dumb.
You couldn't run SCART.
HDMI wasn't really a thing yet. Yeah, composite cables were probably the way to do it because HDMI had encryption still at that time.
No, I tell you one thing though. I think it was Harpog or something. These boxes,
Yeah,
and they were the first people I knew of. A few guys that knew friends in the industry and
sure.
media industry. This was when HDMI came along,
Yeah,
and I remember my colleague Jamal saying, "Dude, like, forget these 5 cables. It's one cable."
yeah.
It's like what? And it's like this thing came along, and it's just like, how can those 5 cables be that?
Split into
And
this one thing.
that one thing, and that was the game changer.
Yes.
HDMI. But
Yeah.
I think SDI was around at the time, but that was
That's
obviously
been a
more
while.
industry. And I
Yeah.
think I think what SDI is, I think they took the technology at SDI and they made it a consumer product that everybody, and it took over, didn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank God for that. Can you imagine still splitting 5 cables today?
Oh no,
No
there's
way.
there's enough cabling as is behind the
Is
stage. If you've ever seen guys, if you've ever seen behind the stage, the cabling's a mess. I'm not even gonna deny it. Like
oh,
there's no way to clean it up.
crazy.
It's like so having
No,
one HDMI cable or
I
two.
disagree. You know
Oh,
what I mean by saying invisible connectivity? It just takes time, which you
uh,
haven't got, and
wait,
logistics you haven't got.
no.
But it should be. You can kind of make it invisible. You kind of can,
You
but no
can,
one ever
but
does.
no. But yeah, cabling behind the stage is crazy. Splitting five, cutting down from 5 composite cables to one HDMI cable. Yeah, definitely a game changer. But yeah, so we digress. I digress. So yeah, you and Jamar set up Unequal Media.
Yep.
You had some sponsored players of Street Fighter 4, I remember. Quite a few even. Uh,
No, it was. It basically look, listen, I'm trying to get my brand out there. So I'm
yeah,
basically got friends. Listen, yeah, listen, be part of my team. You know
yeah,
what I used to get? I used to know this guy called B15,
yep,
STM Designs. You know, these
yep,
crazy arcade sticks. Me and him became friends.
yep.
I kind of just, I would give somebody a B15 stick, like,
Those sticks are
or a
amazing.
pad,
Like the B15
and I'd
ones
be like,
are amazing.
oh, they are. And it'd be
Yeah,
like, right, you know, you will kind of get a lift here and there and I can give it to you.
yeah,
Right. I might pay for a ticket for you
yeah,
if I can.
yeah.
So despite it was a team, it wasn't really a
It was
sponsorship. It
It
was a
was.
bunch of friends.
Yeah.
That were,
Collect. They
yeah.
are now those B15 sticks are now collector's items because he stopped making them and they are
Oh,
well made.
yeah. I'm very good friends with him. He ain't never making that stuff again.
No,
So
yeah,
if
he's
you've
done.
got one,
Yeah, hold on to it.
he hold on to it.
Hold on
Right.
to it.
Oh yeah, back to
But yeah.
what you were saying.
So yeah, so you made a team, group of friends, like old Xbox days. You know, you had a clan on Call of Duty, similar sort of idea, right? In fighting games, but offline. Offline fighting games, yeah, team of friends,
Yep.
group of friends, just
Yep.
playing, like cool under the flag as it was on
Yep.
Unequal Media,
Yep.
and you ran.
Oh
So
God.
you ran a few events. You ran Street Fighter 4. I think my first me meeting you properly was when Meltdown came to the UK, came to London because they're a France brand, right? They're a France company
Yes,
of
they were.
pubs. So they opened up a branch in London. They are still open. They're great. They're doing quite well, it seems. And we had the Luffy Invitational.
No, the Luffy beatdown.
Yeah, the Luffy beatdown. That was around Christmas time because I
No,
was freezing
no,
my ass
trust
off.
me. The event was called the Beatdown,
Yes.
and then I'm always stupid. I always if it's sponsored by Razor, it's the Razor Beatdown.
Yeah.
Oh, Luffy's coming. So the terminology is really bad. The Luffy Beatdown. So man turns up, we beat him up. Right? It's not. That's not the connotation. But that's what I think when I hear it.
Yeah.
But
No.
I
No.
think
Well, that's what
everyone
you.
saw it.
No one saw it because everyone got beat by Luffy. It seems, and that was the start. That was the start of Problem X.
So you know as well, I did really well in that tournament. No one realised that Real Menace actually put Luffy
Yeah,
into the.
Menace is a dark horse as a player.
He is a very
Like
dark
like
horse.
no one
He is.
knows, no one knows. But yeah, he
Oh, yeah, if
is.
you know, you know. If
Yeah,
you
that's
knew, you knew.
that was it. Like Menace
Yeah.
again, great guy. As a player, I won't have him on here because I don't need players' thoughts in this because they're not behind the stage; they're in front of the stage. They are the product, right? You've
You
said this
say that,
before.
but yeah, but as I said, I'll fast forward.
Yeah.
Some this disagreements and differences between me and Jamal happened.
Yes.
We split
Yes.
in 2018,
Yes.
and it was awful.
Yes.
And when you're like at the time, I think Media done quite well. We were like the broadcast agent for. We did the streaming and broadcast for Tekken World Tour throughout Europe, Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball, Street Fighter, kind of the big boys.
Yeah.
We pushed through at times, mucked up now and again, but all the big stuff we were doing as a collective.
Yes.
All of a sudden we split,
Yeah, that was a big
It's just
split.
a nightmare for everybody.
It
Like
was.
the industry is just like makeup, right? Get out
We
your little
sort
team
this
that you
out.
just did.
Like, we need you guys to work now, so get working.
Yeah, like, it's like just sort it out and just carry on. Oh no, too far. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna divulge details too much.
No, please don't.
Um, but of the reason why we split was because of differences.
Yes,
And he didn't really want it, but I couldn't do it anymore.
sure.
And unfortunately, he passed away a year
Yes,
later.
yes, he did.
And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I'll tell you now, because in this, there's not enough people. Kind of go scooting right back to what you said about there's no industry standard for this.
Yeah.
So everyone kind of knew a capture card or a software
Yeah.
or a way to write scoreboards and some people would share it, and some
Yeah.
people would keep it.
Yeah.
Right? This knowledge is power, right? You prove by sharing, I believe. So there wasn't enough qualified people as this thing got bigger.
Yeah.
So I was going to come back to Jamal, actually, and say, look, just put our differences behind us because one, we're now in competition for each other, which isn't good. And the opportunities are getting bigger, and we need people that know how to do it. And you know how to do it, but
Yeah.
I never got my chance.
Yeah, we're going to say sorry, basically.
I never did.
Yeah.
And that one will haunt me to my death. Because just cherish life, people.
You never know. You never know. Life is too short, 100%. No, I agree with you
Also, in this, the show must go on.
there.
So splitting from him, I created a visual platform.
Yes.
Which quickly, when I was left college, I did club fly design back in 1999. I was the visual platform back then. And I mucked it up. I had to close it down. So when I split, someone said to me, "You got to create another business entity." And it's like, oh, what name am I going to call it? I had another one no one likes. I like Blue Strawberry. Everyone laughs at me. That will be a thing one day. I mean, my third venture. So Unequal Media became visual platform,
Which you are now currently.
which
Maybe.
we are now. And
Yeah, okay.
No,
You are.
we are.
You are. Okay, you are.
And it's been, well, I think the work's kind of spoke for itself, really.
Okay, that's pause. The work speaks for itself. What work have you done on the visual platform? Let the people know. Like, what are you? What has visual platform produced? I know the people listening don't. And out of those things, what do you think you are most well known for? So what has visual platform given?
I got the privilege of meeting a team called Tenno Media in the States that are responsible for the production for Evo, the World Championships. And in 2019, I think in 2021, we were trained up to run the Street Fighter stage at basically the World Championships of our sector. And to me, that's like, there's no bigger than that. I've worked with a company called Blue Coast who create a lot of the Capcom Pro Tour assets and deliverables and broadcasts.
Yep.
I've also worked with numerous people.
You have.
I think. I had the privilege to work with Bandai Namco on Tekken.
Yeah.
Tekken World Tour. I was the graphic designer of a Tekken World Tour for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Which was a real, for some kid that liked video games and went to college, art college. Now I'm designing for something that I love. Was
absolute fucking dream.
It was a dream.
Yeah.
Nightmare of pressure.
Of course.
I did that for 5 years.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of content creation. My agency Visual Platforms had a creative contract with Capcom UK now for 7 years.
Okay. And
what I've created?
Go on. What have you created?
At the moment, probably the most notable thing, if you search for sets on Capcom Fighters, is I looked at the round table of boxes when you put two of them together and they talk and they trash talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially, I just wanted to create that. It's a bit of it's a bit different in narrative.
Sure.
My good friend Jamil Mackenzie Jammers, he's very good presenter. Very knowledgeable commentator.
Yeah.
He lives down the road from the studio, and we had an opportunity to just let's do something good. Buy some decent cameras, try to deck out our studio as professional as we can. It's forever work in progress. That's been on the network for a long time. Now it's actually recognised by the Japanese esports team of Capcom, saying that it's a vital part of esports data in Europe.
Amazing.
So that was just one day going, you know what, why don't we just do 2 players? Let's stick it on the network every week. And we sat down in the room like about 4 years ago. And for me, just to think of an idea and push it that far, and that's really still very gratifying for me. And
yeah, good.
and to even make a product that people talk about.
Yeah.
And so
And to get
that's
the higher ups, especially in Japan, to recognize that it's
oh
needed.
needed this, and they are too quick to tell you no.
Exactly.
Off.
And the fact
So the
that
fact
that
it's still
sets,
on.
yeah, the fact it's still on, and they are noticing sets that is
Yeah,
on nearly every Tuesday because it's off on break at the moment.
it is.
As we record, it's off on the Tuesday, so it's not on.
It should be
Yes,
back. Funny enough,
it'll
what
be
I'm
back
sitting
soon.
in right now
Yeah.
was the former set of sets, but
Yes.
some things have happened. We're moving location.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
actually moving the operation to Capcom HQ. So it's returning in the very near future.
It's returning. So it's on the break at the moment. Jam is a great guy. I'm planning to get him on here as well because I would like some commentators' views on being behind the stage. But yeah, so you've created something wonderful, amazing that's been on nearly every week on the Capcom Twitch, YouTube, social media channels, and Japan has taken notice and said yes, we need to keep you guys on, which is great, which is amazing.
It is. It is. So that
You've
is. But I'll be real with you.
yeah,
I'm. I've come from. I've always been said my stuff's too flashy. My stuff's too tacky. I do trailers with voices in. I do this and that. I don't tend to do things via the norm. And it's like I think it's kind of been my USP of success now. I really want to make this stuff look like television because I'm from a television generation. You know, crazy
yes,
things. You wanted to watch EastEnders when I was growing up. You had to be sitting down at 7:30, right?
yeah. None of
And
this
if you
on
weren't
record stuff, no on demand
none of this
shit.
on demand, do you
Nah,
know how
no,
much?
no.
That is a crazy. Excuse me on this one.
That's fine.
That's like a level of government control, right?
Yeah,
They can get everybody to sit in a spot and watch the media.
yeah.
And if you're old enough, if you didn't catch the omnibus on Sunday,
That's it.
you missed it.
That's it.
Right?
You're gonna have
There
to
was
catch
no
up some
plus
other way.
one or where it
No,
was.
yeah.
Makes me laugh. You could even watch the next episode before the day,
Yeah.
bruh.
The
Fuck off.
there was four terrestrial channels in the UK at one point before Channel
There
5
was,
came along. There was even
and
free, to be fair.
I used to love off Channel 5 and Sunset Beach. I remember when it started. Like,
Oh no, you give me flashbacks there, Mark. Fuck me. No, I don't need that. Fuck. Ugh.
right.
Right. So you've as a visual platform created some wonderful products for Capcom, for Tekken, for Bandai Namco, Arxis for Dragon Ball and Strive. Um, you guys have also helped run some streams, produce some streams for offline events, not under your own name at the moment so far, um, but for other majors like fighting game majors in the UK. I'm trying to find the right words, and one of them I would say is Versus Fighting.
Oh, yes.
Tell me if I'm wrong. But Versus Fighting was one of them, and the Mix Up in France is another. So you are international. You're not just local in the UK, right?
Oh, yeah, I've managed. I think guess what, getting to Las Vegas and doing that as well.
And Vegas as well, obviously for Evo. Sorry, yes.
I haven't touched Asian shores. I don't think I ever will because they've got very competent people over there. But for some kid that lived in East Coast Rislip, right? Look,
Yeah.
I was walking around the Mandalay Bay. In fact, I was a graphic designer for Capcom Pro Tour in 2019. This was a mind fuck. That was in the Mandalay Bay. All my graphics were splattered on all the screens, and I'm just like,
I
I
made
feel
this.
like I thought go to some random person. Excuse me, look, you know, I did that. I didn't do it, but if
Yeah.
you knew I did it,
You knew
and
you
that
did.
for me, I'm like, my stuff's in the Mandalay Bay arena.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Crazy.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess I kind of made it, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, made it.
Kind of.
Yeah. 100%.
Listen, I'm not the best graphic designer in the world. I'm not the worst, but I'm confident.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about looking a client in the face or a customer and saying, I can do this with you. Give me your idea, and I will execute it perfectly for you.
Yeah. I know, I'll
I
show
can
you.
not be the best, but if you can build that confidence and likability, people will stick by you, and that has been probably one of my greatest strengths. I'm quite likable. I could be quite unlikable sometimes, but
True.
I think I'm more likable than unlikable, and I also try
True.
to give people chances and build relationships. I'm not always about the monetary gain either,
Yes. Yes.
which has stung me in the arse of recent.
Sure. We won't go into that,
but
but sure. Yes. But
so
speaking of strengths, though, and being likable or unlikable to some people, like I like you, it seems like we've been friends for since For some time now. Let's be honest, right?
8 years now, is it?
At least
Right.
no, no, longer than 8 years because
I,
like Street Fighter 4 till now, like
you were
Xbox 360.
you was doing photography when versus fighting was not in Millennium Point. It was on that weird um,
Yeah,
venue of different
yeah,
floors.
yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah.
And I remember you specifically because we was all chilling on the Street Fighter floor, and you were the photographer. And I'm like, that was 2015 because in 2016 I asked you, can we? No, that was 2014. I met you because in 2015 I asked you to do EGX
Yeah.
at Birmingham NEC,
Yes.
and I got to admit, your pictures had potential. Because oh, he's got to work on it.
Yes.
So yeah, that's when we met,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah,
Actually,
pretty
yeah,
much,
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much. That's our history,
That's
but
our history.
but less about me because I don't. No one really cares about me. I'm just a
Oh,
photographer.
I care about you, man.
Yeah,
Come on, don't
thanks,
be
thanks. No, you're talking about strengths. You're talking about having the opportunity, being confident in going to the customer, going to someone and face to face and go, I can deliver what you want. Just tell me what you want.
yes.
You building a team out for visual platform. So this is one of the questions I have written down because this is one thing I think people need to know, and I need people's opinion, your opinion on this. What do you look for in people to build out your team? Who would you? What sort of personality traits, aspects, fucking D&D character sheet of statistics that you would want on a person on you to be on your team?
One real simple word, my friend. Potential.
What's potential to you?
Just has this person got the passive? The passive. Has this person got the passion and the
Mhm.
drive? So I can tell how someone talks about their craft.
Sure.
There's always a market leader. There's always an inspirational person. There's always the best.
Yeah.
And this is how my brain worked. I wanted to not be the best, but I wanted to do stuff similar to the best.
Okay.
So when I kind of see that in a person as well, and
Yeah.
quite a lot of people that are on my team have arrogantly said, I want to work with you. And I'm like, the fact you've done that, like, I'll give you a damn shot. Um, so yeah, I see, look, I'm not saying that my perspective is the best,
No,
but I try
but
to
it's
do
your
it as the
perspective,
best.
and
And
yeah.
I've heard from a lot of people,
Mm,
and I still find it's a bit of a weird pill to swallow.
sure.
That my influence in the sector we've been in,
Yeah.
I've been a huge inspiration to a lot of people.
Okay.
I've been a platform for a lot of people apparently as well, and I am really quite a motivator apparently for a lot of people. I don't fucking know personally, but
Rest in peace, Mr.
listen,
Motivator.
it's not. Yeah, yeah. Listen, I'm the new age motivator, Mr. Motivator. Just like moving swiftly on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So potential is what you said.
Yeah, potential. But don't get twisted. Unfulfilled potential becomes a problem.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, can they do it? And it's like, I'm like, I can be a bitch. It's like my expectation is very high.
Yes.
Then it's like, okay. So then, how can we all work together?
Yes.
And it's like, right. And sometimes I put my foot in it. I don't do things right. I'm known for that. But listen, my intention is good.
Always.
My heart is good. Sometimes I'll execute things. I don't deal with problems the best. I don't deal with confrontation very well. I'm learning from that, and I'm getting older. So now I'm kind of seen as kind of a senior figurehead. You can't be making these schoolboy, unconfident like situations
Hmm.
when you're kind of the old boy in the gang. You've
Yeah.
done this longer than anyone else.
Yeah.
So
You've been here longest, so you should
I have
have
to.
seen this at some point and have
And
learned from it, right? That's the
yeah,
idea.
and it's funny because you can sometimes still do it again.
Yeah.
But you know something? Inevitability of mistake is human. It's humane. Mistakes happen.
Yes.
Now I've been told many times I'm too hard on myself. I'll do something which is 91% fantastic.
Yeah.
Push up the bar, 95% fantastic.
Yeah.
See that little glaring 5%?
Yeah. You hate yourself.
Failure.
Yeah. You hate yourself for it.
Whole activation failed.
Yeah.
Whole everything. And people have seen me. I've been in tears on activations when
Yeah.
things have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Things have gone out of my control because we're dealing with a lot of unpredictable things,
Yeah.
live and event spaces a lot of the time.
Basically, yeah.
So, but I'm just drift. I'm human.
Yeah. You are.
still bugger things up. I've done it recently on something I shouldn't have. And it's like, but I think though, say human error is inevitable.
Yes.
It's in there, especially when you're
Yes.
trying to push the envelope or be the best. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
the gym. That one day you lift up the weight too heavy, it hurts.
And you're out for ever.
You
That's
should
it.
have, you should have stretched. You should have worked up to it. Like, you thought you go in there like Arnold Schwarzenegger and flipping King Kong, right?
Check your ego. It's
And
yeah.
you hurt yourself because
Yeah.
you push yourself too far.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sometimes what I do. Is I didn't really take the running jump properly. I just ran at it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hopefully the train out of the station will derail not too badly when it happens. It either might stop, right?
Yeah.
Or it'll thunder off the tracks at 100 miles an hour and cause a genocide. But either way, it was never intentional.
No,
So,
hopefully never intentional, and hopefully we're not
never,
causing
never,
genocide here. But yeah,
never.
so potential leads on to my next question. Really, like you look for potential in people, looking for that drive to take on to do that work. Like you saw it in me somehow. Great, I love it. I've worked with you numerous times on different events offline. Online, that has not so much because you don't really need an online photographer. Let's be honest.
No, not really
Yeah, that's
nice.
the thing. That's that's
Nothing to take a picture of.
exactly. So that is what it is. That's part of life. But my next
Yeah.
question is really like, how do people get exposure to be where you are?
I
Like,
tell you now,
like in this current day and age, like school's gone. Like learning a trade of Photoshop can be done in schools, but doesn't get you anywhere. Like, what can people do to get in front of your face and get to learn the role?
I tell you now, you just got to keep putting your stuff out there. It's as simple as that. Like, for instance, there's a kid that's just done he did the Evo Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 intros. His name's Philippe Jig D.
Yes.
I saw his work about a year and a half ago, and he's very wild. He's 19, and for me, I'm a very classic kind of train designer. I think almost my style is boring but good. And I like to take risks too much. I'm not that guy.
Sure.
He is wild, but he had loads of potential. We worked together on a couple of things. It didn't work.
Okay.
Did you ever see our bracket reset little advert? That
Maybe.
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 He's really good at taking like the renders out of the game, taking the background off, and then putting loads of crazy After Effects
Yeah.
together. And
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
he's ended up just doing the World Championships intros for two of the games he loves.
Yeah. At Evo.
And that's,
They were amazing intros.
yeah, and that's where you go. That he just kept putting his stuff out there.
Yeah.
He kept putting it out there. He had no intention that I would meet him or Richard would meet him. And then when he told me he's doing the intros for Eva, I'm like, he's a little bit struck, and I'm like, I'm not. You're that world class.
Yeah. Is that good?
So, but I'll be real with you. One very simple thing: if you love her or hate her, Lady Luck.
Yes.
You got to keep putting your stuff out there.
Yes.
And if Lady Luck knocks on your door, that's when opportunity
Means hard work.
That's right. And
Yeah.
just ride the momentum as much as you can. In this day and age, it's very different. Like,
Oh, 100%.
creating media now is a lot easier, and there's so much wizardry in these packages as well.
Yeah.
That it makes. I'm not trying to sound like a stale graphic designer. Like, for instance, there wasn't PNG when I was studying.
No.
There wasn't Google searches when I was studying. You had to like rip stuff out of magazines and put them on a flatbed scanner at $600 per inch at 200% and cut it out.
Yeah.
So I think when I was going through it, it was still recognized a bit more as a profession that you're good, you're trained at. This day and age, that we've all seen it, there are some home streamers out there that are doing things better than the big production houses. So
Yeah.
I think nowadays you just got to be in it to win it, and hopefully you'll get your shot to win. Just keep putting your stuff out there. It's like a lottery now, I think.
Can be.
But one thing as well
Yeah.
is who you know.
True.
That's a lottery as well. Like, somebody bigger might take a liking to what you've done, but if you're not in it, you can't win it. So you can't do your.
I'll take that one step further. Knowing,
Right.
like, yes, it helps. Definitely, 100% definitely helps knowing someone.
It does.
But to tie that back to being a home streamer, which a lot of people are, not everyone's in the production studio. Like, stream 8-9 hours, do it as your day job. You are a streamer. That's perfectly fine. You can be a partner on Twitch. Great. But aiming to be a partner, aiming to be affiliated, aiming for anything, it I think requires the people you know, but also making those people you know not associates, but into friends. So actually leave the house, touch some grass, and
That's a
be.
saying recent, isn't it?
It's a new. It's not a new saying. It's touch some grass and be not disingenuous, but be genuine in your availability of meeting people and being friendly, not for gain,
Oh,
but to be a
net,
friend, to
net,
meet people, network.
networking is just essential.
Yes.
And
Now, I'm not trying to put
again,
words in your mouth because I asked you the question of
no, no,
what,
no, 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 no.
but yeah, I personally think
What,
networking and being genuine about it, not for gain, is key. One of the keys.
look, I could burst a bubble. I
Do
think
it.
because I'm a twin, I'm a graphic designer. I I think I had unique USPs.
Mm,
And I say I came from a nightclub designing background. I hit fighting games, for instance, and my
yeah.
style was radically different.
Yeah.
I'm unique. Everyone's journey into this is different.
Yes.
It's just luck.
Yeah.
Being at the right place at the right time, and no, right, craft your craft
Yes.
by all means. Get good. Right, I'm
Yes.
not being funny. Everything you want to do exists. Podcasts exist. Graphic design exists. Movie posters exist. Films exist. Everything creative. Don't even try and convince yourself you're trying to do something new, right? Because if you haven't done it, no, sorry, it's probably been done before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So get your stuff out there.
Yeah.
Um, but it's challenging. I think it's really, really challenging, and it's challenging to keep it as well. As well, I've had a few things recently where I've done good jobs and I've not got the opportunity again. I lost a job doing a good job.
Happens.
I
Happens.
understand, and that's new to me. That's crushed me a little bit
100% every time.
because I mess it up, then I don't get it. So I go out of my way to keep it clean and keep it good. Then I lost it as well, and I'm like,
How do I win?
what
How
was
do
the...
you win?
So the next time round, I'm gonna do a bad job. Then
Yeah.
hopefully I'll keep it. So
And that mentality isn't great either, right?
ignore that. That's the
Yeah.
worst thing to do. Yeah, the creative world is
Fickle.
yeah, it does. It changes fashion. And my advice is that do something else as well. Make it a side hustle, I'd say,
Start
and
there
hopefully,
always.
and if you could see it migrates and it expands, I'd say keep it going.
Yeah.
But you've got to be out there. You've got to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.
That's all I can say.
Honestly, good luck. Like I said, I'm a semi-professional esports photographer. It's still a side gig to me. I have a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and I'm still trying to make it. And on all the points you've touched on, Mark, like they've all resonated with me. Like, cool, aim to emulate the greats. And I already
Yeah,
said that
yeah.
when we talked about the photographers for Evo this year.
Of
Like
course,
those
of course.
5 of them are at the top of their game, and that's where I need to aim and try and be at. And so yeah, but no. Anyway, I think we're nearly close to wrapping up because we've gotten to the point of we've had your opinions, we've had how you've come about to be from a little boy in West London playing fighting games to creating tournaments, running events, streaming, being at Evo. Um, what I don't think, and we've had all your, I've asked you all the questions. I think the last part here is the fact that there is this year in London the final stop
Okay.
for the Street Fighter 6 Capcom World Tour,
Pro Tour.
the Pro Tour,
Yes.
and it's an offline event which is very good in my eyes because we don't have enough of those after the pandemic. We went online for a bit.
Very true.
This is going to be the one, maybe the only, who knows, offline event, visual platform create and make. Well, I'm not going to ask you anymore for that. And you've kindly given me the trailer video, which I will add on. The teaser, sorry, not the trailer. The teaser, the teaser, the teaser, which I will play at the end of this podcast in the recording, so it'll be added in post. What dates are it again?
December 13th to 15th.
13th to 15th. Perfect. So December 13th to 15th, Kings of the World in London,
Right.
United Kingdom,
King's
Capcom,
Cross.
King's Cross, December, Capcom Street Fighter 6 World Tour Premier Offline. if you haven't got tickets, get them now because I don't think there's going to be many of the slots available. So get
I
them in
tell you
now.
now,
Go
I
on.
don't know if by the time this published, right?
Yeah.
The tickets should be live then.
Oh, okay.
Seeing we're in December and I'm
Yes.
working with Capcom and Samsung, there is a lot of logistics back and forth
Yes.
because none of these parties have worked together before.
Of course.
And this is the time where this is the first time I've actually really project managed anything. 'Cause normally I work in the gaming show.
So it's a
In the
different
gaming
hat.
show, like the legal's done for me, the stage builder's done for me, the
Yeah.
venue's picked for me. I just turn up, go, look, there's your stage, bring P consoles down,
Do you think?
do your thing.
Yeah.
But I'm doing every logistical part of this. So
it's a new venture for Visual Platform.
it is. We've had to slow down a little bit, but we're in December. Evo's now come and gone since this will be out.
Yes.
We're waiting for that to pass. So we've got a few little things to iron out, but
Yeah.
around the first week of August, it should be live.
Yeah.
And my team is going out of its way to do one thing: do a really good hospitality experience of celebrating fighting games. So it's just not about the esport athlete. It's about come down to Samsung KX. It's a beautiful venue, by the way, as well, full of tech and all sorts.
I'm sure I'll see you there.
100%. It's definitely a marriage of technology in life society. So, and I've been very privileged that Capcom given me the chance to do this. And we're going to crown a king.
We're going to crown a king, and I think we can add another 2 feathers to your cap: event director. And also project manager, because like I said, this is a new project for you guys. Any parting words, Mark? Anything else you want to plug?
Thank you for inviting me on.
All good.
I just want to I'm not going to start thanking people. I'm just going to thank you. All right. It's funny when you start thanking people, you miss someone out.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That was just like, you shut me out.
Yeah.
So listen, right, because the camera's backwards, right? Hang on, Luke's over there, right? So I'm gonna shout out drift. Got it right. Going like drift, because I think you're over there.
I'm somewhere in the ether right now, mate. I'm so far gone. But no, thank you very much. And thank you for your time for joining me in. I'm gonna say it, the very first episode of Behind the Stage. You've dropped a lot of names, and hopefully people have started to get an idea of what we do, especially during an event. Give me feedback, like, subscribe. I'm not even sure where I'm publishing this just yet. This was a 5-minute napkin scribble on a bus that I thought people actually need to think about this, because Mark, you're old, I'm getting old. We need new blood in the system, and we need people to take up the crown, because we can't keep going on forever as much as we want to.
No. My next milestone birthday, despite that looking, I'm 50 years old in 4.5 years. 50.
Like cocoa butter does wonderful jobs, mate.
It does, yeah. But thank you for doing this. It's like it's a very interesting narrative. And you said about this was like a scribble on a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Sometimes those scribbles on sheets of paper become the most brilliant thing, which explodes into greatness. So keep this going, man. I look forward to all the guests.
Thank you.
I thank you very much for being the first, maybe the worst. Who knows? But,
who knows? We'll see.
Everyone, thank you.
In winter 2024, the Capcom Pro Tour has a new location on the circuit. A place where the fighting game community stands strong. A celebration of Street Fighter greatness in one of the greatest cities in the world. London. An event for everyone to compete and spectate. As we crown the king of the game, Visual Platform proudly presents Kings of the World at the luxurious Samsung KX Store King's Cross. December 13 to 15, 2024.